call this organizational meeting to order at 4 p.m. on January 4th, 2022. Please stand with me as the honor guard will now present the colors. Please remain standing and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. Supervisor Fitzpatrick,
Here.
Councilwoman Freeman,
Here.
Councilman Perticone,
Here.
Councilwoman Romeo, here. Councilman Weiner,
Here.
and Attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd just like to make a few remarks before we get started. First of all, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us for our first meeting here of the year. I'd like to take this time to thank, first of all, the community for putting me in this position and having the faith and trust in me to, be the supervisor here at Irondequoit. I'd also like to take an opportunity to thank each board member for welcoming me. We've had some great conversations over the last 4 to 6 weeks and look forward to working with each one of you. To all the employees who have helped me over the last 4 to 6 weeks with the transition, it's very much appreciative, and again, I think it shows great promise for the town and your willingness to accept me, work with me, and answer all the questions and educate me in areas that I needed to be. I'd like to make a special thank you to John Perticone. Over the last 4-6 weeks, he has been an absolute tremendous asset. He has gone out of his way to work with me to make sure that I was able to start January 1st, running and ready to go. So thank you to all. Special thanks to John, and to have this support coming in, which I told would not be here, and I would just like to say that it has been here, and that's a very positive sign for the town going forward. So it's a great group. We have some challenges ahead of us, and I look forward to facing them head on. We have a first blood drive, January 20th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Appointments can be made online at theredcrossblood.org. County and town taxes are being collected by the town clerk, receiver of taxes, at the clerk's office. Is open from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. Full payments can be made, or payments are due by February 10th. I did forget to mention Maria Vecchio, who's also been a tremendous asset as well. It would be terrible for me to leave her out of that, out of the thank yous. So I apologize for doing that the first time, and again, thank you to everybody. Thank you, Mac. Welcome. This is our first meeting of the year, and is where we adopt several resolutions to organize the town's business for the coming year. We have several appointments to town offices and a handful of resolutions concerning the continuing operation of our government. We also have a resolution calling for public hearing on ethics reform and legislation. With that, Madam Clerk, could you please call the items for board action?
Item number 1, authorizing the appointment of the town clerk for the town of Arundequoit.
So that town clerk is Barb Janier. She has served as town clerk since 2006 under the administrator for both sides of the aisle. We have a motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? No questions, comments? All in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. This resolution is adopted and the appointment was made. Next.
Item number 2, authorizing the appointment of comptroller for the town of Arundequoit.
Moved.
Motion to adopt, moved, second. So Comptroller is Deanna Marsh, started with the town as a part-time clerk in 1997, accepted a full-time position in 1998, and has served as account clerk, junior accountant, and accountant before being named Comptroller in 2019. Any questions or comments?
I would like to make a comment. I'd like to make a comment as well as on Barb too. So Barb, thank you for all you do. I know it's been tough, but you've done a really good job, and I know you're very appreciative. Since I was here, I see the hard work that comes out of your the office that you are in charge of. And as far as Diana, again, I beat this with it, but I've been talking about this since I've been here. Thank you, Diana. You really work hard in that office and making sure that all the things that are supposed to come through your office. When we did the budget, you were definitely at that. You were the point person throughout that, and I want to thank you. Couldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. This resolution is adopted. Do either one of you want to stand up and say, give a wave? No? All right. We'll hold that to the end, and we'll let everybody stand together. So,
Item number 3, authorizing the appointment of a deputy supervisor for the town of Arundequoit.
motion to adopt,
Move. Second.
second. Okay, Deputy Supervisor John Perticone, he has served as Deputy Supervisor since 2014 and is a town board member since 2008. Any questions or comments?
John, thanks for stepping in and taking over in the time of need. Thank you.
Comment, given what has transpired with both iCare and myself regarding public meetings with the town board and the lack of respect that was given to both myself and iCare by Deputy, and at that time Acting Supervisor Perticone, I cannot, in all conscience, vote yes, so I will be a nay vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
This resolution is adopted. Next resolution.
Item number 4,
excuse me?
authorizing.
I abstain.
Mr. Supervisor, just for the record, do we have any abstentions?
I abstain. I abstain.
Thank you.
Next resolution.
Authorizing the appointment of a Director of Recreation.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Director of Recreation is Katrina Hall, was hired in 2011 as Recreation Supervisor and has served as Director of Recreation since mid-2019. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I abstain.
This resolution has been adopted. Next resolution.
Item number 5, authorizing the appointment of a Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Public Works.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Deputy Commissioner of Public Works is Erin McGee. She has been employed with the DPW since 2018, first as an engineering aide, and became deputy commissioner in 2020. Anyone with any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 6, authorizing the appointment of a bingo inspector for the town of Arundequite.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Bingo inspector is Joe Lombardo, was first appointed as bingo inspector in 2018. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. The resolution has been adopted. Next resolution.
Number 7, authorizing the appointment of the Deferred Compensation Committee.
Moved.
Second,
Second.
the planning board, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay? Okay.
Item number 8, authorizing reappointments to the town's Audit Committee.
So moved.
Second,
Second. Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 9, adopt a resolution to require checks to be countersigned by the comptroller.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 10, a resolution to bond town officers, clerks, and employees.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 11, designating an official town newspaper.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. The resolution has been adopted.
Item number 12, a resolution to open competitive bids.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 13, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to appoint seasonal, on-call, part-time, and temporary staff.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 14, authorizing the reappointment of Conservation Board members.
Second,
Second.
any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. This resolution is adopted.
Item number 15, authorizing the reappointment of a Planning Board chairman.
Motion,
Moved.
second. So the planning board chairman is Bernard Blacci. He has served as chairman since 2016. Anybody with questions or comments?
Question. My understanding at the December meeting that the appointments for the planning board, including the appointment as a chairperson, was going to be discussed at the next scheduled regular town board meeting, because both myself and Peter asked for a wider look at those to make sure that it was open to all interested town members. And I have not heard back for that, so I was wondering if that was done. And we had no one who had applied.
I would say that the town board could deliberate on the appointment now, or to the extent it wants to discuss individual performance, it could move into an executive session pursuant to the Public Officers Law, Section 105.
I'll just make one comment. I believe that the chairman that's going to get appointed this evening was probably the only one that stepped up, and I think he has support from the planning board to continue his chairmanship.
Any other discussion or debate? Mr. Supervisor, you could call the vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
This resolution has been adopted. Next resolution.
Item number 16, authorizing the reappointment of a planning board member.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second. Okay, planning board members Jacqueline Murray. She was appointed as an alternative in 2017 and a full member in 2021. Any questions or comments?
Again, I will state that during last month's board meeting on December 21st, both Peter and I expressed the interest, the need for us to have a wider look to fill these positions, considering that we have had over the past 24 months that I have been here, we have had complaints about the performance of members on that planning board. So again, I will ask that perhaps we need to table this until the next scheduled board meeting so we can discuss this at a workshop meeting.
Mr. Supervisor, you could entertain deliberation on the motion, or you could invite a motion to table. But it might be best to open it up for further discussion by board members.
I mean, I guess I didn't say anything after, I know I didn't say anything after Bernie's, but I've had time to think about it, and while I agree with Petrina that I think that there are issues with the planning board, I'm not sure that it doesn't extend beyond the planning board. I would like a high-performing planning board, and I'm not sure how to deal with it, but I don't know that not approving the people that have volunteered for the position is what we need to do to make it better at this point. So whether it's training or, working with staff as well as the applicants, in a better way is probably the better way to take and make the situation hopefully smoother for applicants and more, I'm not sure what the right word is, but smoother for applicants and more communicative. And at least I understand we have rules, regulations, and obligations, but we need to somehow mediate that when the two sides aren't in agreement, so. And I think that's probably the town's job to do that.
Yeah, I think training is a big part of moving this forward in the right direction, so.
And I will make a comment, Supervisor. A lot of these folks, especially this one we're going to point right now, Jacqueline, she was an alternate. She put her time in. I think she deserves the open spot and to continue and do a full term. And going forward, there are going to be 2 alternates openings for the zoning and planning board. So we will open that up for, to anyone who wants to apply for it. I think it's a good training ground for people to be an alternate, to see what they're getting into. These are 7-year terms. It's a big commitment to some people. So I think Jacqueline, right here, she did commit to this, and she has my full support to continue on the planning board.
And I would like to reiterate, as I mentioned at both the November and the December board meeting, these positions, particularly for the Conservation Board, the Zoning Board, and as well as the Planning Board, has not been made widely available to our constituents. It has not been posted on the website. It has not been posted to our social media. It has been announced in meetings where that each one of these boards have had. I don't think, and I do not believe that it is fair to continually appoint people to positions when everyone does not have an opportunity to apply. It is our job to make sure that everyone is informed and anyone who wants to serve have an opportunity to submit their self for service.
Thank you, everybody, for their comments.
Yeah, I do think that Jacqueline Murray did provide her application when the alternate was presented in the protocol. Has been, is generally to move the alternate to the full-time position when a vacancy occurs. So she has been sitting in. So, and I do agree with Petrina that the new people that we're looking for to fill the alternate position needs to be widely publicized.
Yeah, so I think with 2 spots opening up, that we have that we do now have the ability to do and act on Petrina and Peter's suggestions. So, with that being said, I would like to bring this to vote. So, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
I abstain.
This resolution has been adopted. Next resolution.
Item number 17, authorizing the reappointment of a zoning board of appeals member.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, appeals member is Joe so I apologize for the pronunciation, Intini. He was first appointed to the zoning board and audit committee in 2007. Any questions or comments?
No, I'll just put a comment out there that Joe's experience, and he's committed to this board. This will be, I believe, his third term. So again, I support this movement. When they want to commit to these boards, to put in the hours, I'm definitely in favor of these people that put their time and energy and volunteer for these boards. And I don't think there's anybody more experienced than Joe and Tinny right now. So I will support this.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd also like to say that my past experience on both conservation and planning boards was a process of submitting an application, interviewing with several people, and then being chosen from a pool of applicants. So I think that has been the past practice.
Great. We'll bring this to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. This resolution has been adopted.
Item number 18, authorizing the permanent appointment of a Director of Information Services.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second. Kevin Labar is our Information Services. He began as Director of Information Services effective April 1st, 2021. Any questions or comments?
Kevin, thank you for all your service. I'm glad we're bringing this forward. Congratulations.
Yeah, for the brief time that I've known Kevin and going over, some of our deficiencies in the IT department, it's great to have him there and look forward to working with him as we move forward here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Say nay. The resolution has been adopted.
Item number 19, calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to improve the ethics law of the town of Arundequoit.
Board members have in their packets a draft of local law to improve ethics law, the town of Arundequoit. Can I have a motion to introduce this proposal, local law? Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of introducing a proposal of local law, say aye.
Are we gonna
Aye.
have discussion
Yeah,
before then?
that's coming. All opposed, say nay. The proposed legislation is introduced. Madam Clerk, please call, so town attorney will provide an explanation below.
Yes, Madam Clerk, we just had the introduction of the local law. Could you please call item number 19, the resolution calling a public hearing?
Item number 19, calling for a public hearing on a proposed local law to improve the ethics law of the town of Arundequoit.
Motion to adopt? Can I have a second?
Second.
The town attorney now will provide an explanation below.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So this resolution calls a public hearing on a proposed local law to overhaul the town's ethics law. So the town's current ethics law was adopted in 1990 and briefly amended in 1998 and hasn't been updated since then. So we've gone about 25 years under our current ethics law. And in that time, there have been a number of developments in ethics, including the controller's issuance of a model code of ethics for localities. So this proposed local law really overhauls the town's ethics law. It doesn't replace it, but what it does is it adds several new sections. So the first and second section are fairly boilerplate. They state the legislative purpose and the legislative authority for the local law. Section 3 is the first substantive section. It relates to matters of recusal and abstention. Section 3 of the draft would require town officers and employees to recuse from deliberations and to abstain from voting on matters in which they have a personal or private interest. Now, this would apply to officers and employees. So if an employee had a personal interest in a matter that came before the town, the employee would have to recuse him or herself from acting on that matter. It also establishes a chain of command, so that if an employee has to recuse from acting on a matter, his or her subordinates or an appropriate board would be able to step in and act on the matter instead. Section 4 prohibits the use of municipal resources or influence for personal or private gain. So it essentially prohibits someone from using their town office to influence decisions that benefit their personal selves. Section 5 applies to municipal resources. things like town property, town funds, town equipment, and prohibits those from being used for personal or private gain. Now, all of those sections are modeled off of the Comptroller's Model Code of Ethics for Municipalities. Section 6 establishes annual trainings for the town board and directs the establishment of a town board resource library. Annual trainings would benefit the town board by ensuring that the town board is apprised of ethics, procedural, and other matters. And a town board resource library, which would be located in any suitable location in the town, would provide treatises, handbooks, and other materials for the town board to educate itself on matters of law and procedure before board meetings. Section 7 relates to decorum at meetings. Currently, the town code establishes rules of procedure governing public performance at meetings. Section 7 would require town board members to endeavor to debate in a civil and decorous manner. It would also establish that meetings be governed by Robert's Rules of Order to the extent reasonably practicable. Sections 8 and 9 are severability clause and an effective date, and those are fairly boilerplate. So this resolution would merely call a public hearing for February. The town board would have ample opportunity before then and after then to suggest any legislative revisions or changes.
Any questions or comments?
Comment. Mr. Supervisor, I would, the first time I got a chance to look at this was yesterday. While I think this is a great idea, that we should update this, our ethics law and our codes. However, I think we should have an opportunity for town board members to discuss it together at a workshop. There are a couple of things I would love to add and get people's opinions on. But taking it straight to a public hearing is denying us the opportunity to discuss this in a workshop. So I would just ask my esteemed colleagues as well as yourself to consider not passing this resolution at this moment, but tabling it into our workshop, which is next week, so we can have discussion.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
What is the process? When is the public hearing? The public hearing is at our next town board meeting?
No.
It's
Doing it
February.
tonight?
February 15th, so we do have
So it's,
two workshops. in
so we have two
between that.
workshops, so so what she's asking for can be accomplished.
Yes, as far as, yeah, if we go to workshop and we discuss and need to add change, then obviously we can do that in that time.
So basically, we have two workshops with which we can workshop this.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay.
So, Mr. Supervisor, you could either entertain a motion to table to the workshop meeting or call for further discussion and a vote. It's at your discretion.
So just so I'm clear, that we can do what she's saying, even if we vote on this today,
That's
correct? There's-
If you voted on this today, I think what Councilmember Freeman has requested is that this resolution calling a public hearing be tabled until next week. The town board could then discuss the draft legislation and incorporate any changes. So the board could either adopt that recommendation and adopt a motion to table for a week, or the board could vote on the resolution calling a hearing today at this time. It sounds like, from what I've heard, that council.
Even if we have a public hearing on the 15th, we don't generally vote on a matter before a public hearing until after we hear the public hearing and hear the public input. So we're not even going to be voting on this till March at the earliest.
Correct.
That is correct.
So, I mean, even if we said yes to this, it's a public hearing on the 15th, which allows us two workshops to workshop it
Correct.
before the 15th, where we then can hear from the public, and then we have another workshop, and then potentially the vote in March, which would be, to me, no adverse impact by voting yes for this at this point.
You could adopt the resolution calling for the public hearing today, and then just add the ethics law as a discussion item for next week and the next workshop.
All
So
I'm
that-
asking is that we table it so we can have a discussion for next week. It can actually be put on the agenda to be voted even next week. We don't have to do it today.
Right, but if we vote yes today, we can still do that process.
Right.
So there's no harm in, there's really no big difference in tabling it or voting yes. So
I think the consensus I'm hearing from Councilmember Weiner is to vote on calling a public hearing today, and then to discuss the matter at workshop as a discussion item.
I have no issue with voting yes, or by voting yes to have the public hearing in February based on the fact that we are introducing, this is a matter before the subsequent workshops as we move forward.
Yeah, so I think that with that being said and the importance of this, I think, we should probably vote on this now and, adopt any changes that we need to throughout the next couple workshops. So, at this point, I'd like to, bring this to vote. So all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
I abstain.
This resolution has been adopted. This concludes our organizational meeting for 2022. Our next town meeting is a workshop meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 11th at 4 PM here in the Broderick Room. After that, we have our own regular town board meeting on Tuesday, January 18th, 2022 at 7 PM, also in the Broderick Room. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Meeting has been adjourned. Thank you.